this camera off. How do you turn the camera off on your phone? I guess I cannot turn my camera off. Alright. Well, shoot. Hey, I know it's dark. I'm sorry. Let me see. Is this thing plugged in? Ah, look, light. I wasn't even going to use my camera, but I don't even know how to turn it off on my phone so that it's just my, whatever, logo thingy. I can mute my microphone, but I can't turn off my camera. It's very interesting. Um, sorry I got on so much later than I had intended. A whole bunch of stuff happened. At least I posted up my video or my the commercial. My son's not done with the other half yet. Actually, I think he might be, but he's still rendering it. Um, looks great. It's gonna be really fun. Um, but yeah, I called this "You Can Love Your Kids or You Can Love Your Stuff" because I had a headache and hey, what's up, Nick? What's up, Rod? So I took a nap. I get up from my nap, and one of the kids has smashed my phone. So my perfectly pristine phone, which I managed to keep unbroken for over 5 years, because this is a Note 4 that I like to use. Somehow or another, one of them busted my TVs, my phone. Nothing is safe. What's up, Katori Hanzo? Yeah, it is what it is. You can love your kids or you can love your stuff. You can't do both. Um, so I wanted to come on and vent and say, it's exciting. Um, I spent a long time setting up my Indiegogo with all the different tiers, rewards, and putting up graphics and the video and everything. And it's like 2 days. Can't take it with you. No, you cannot. The kids you can take with you, in a sense. Stuff your kids and then love them. Bam, twofer. There's something sincerely wrong with you, Llama. Um, but I'll be like brutally honest. I'm terrified that this Indiegogo is not gonna go the way I hope, because you never know. And man, if it doesn't, that's gonna be devastating. But because this is like a dream of mine. This whole, not just Lone Star, the whole launch of the whole Blacklist universe, and it's like the future I want. It's the future I think the industry I mean, and not to sound egotistical about it, but like I said before, I'm trying to launch a universe. I'm trying to launch something big, something bigger than me, bigger than um, any individual creation. And I see, if you don't believe in yourself, who will? Do not doubt. Do not question yourself. um, yeah. Hey, don't let it bum you out. We have faith in the Lord, my brother. Yeah, I do. I trust in the Lord, and I trust that this is the right thing for me to do. I feel like I've had. Okay, let me put it this way. Even if this isn't the way it gets done, I still feel convicted that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Um, but you never know how what plans the Lord has for you, and so yeah, it's just a little. It's intimidating. I've had a I've had an experience where, do you think the commercial might be too political? Maybe just focusing on the character and the story and the universe of the world. Well, I did it in such a way that I'm hoping. Hey, what's up, Edwin? Um, what's up, Egg? I did it in such a way that I'm hoping that even people who uh, are not on our side of the aisle will see it more as a joke than an attack. Because really, um, I use little cartoon images and whatnot, and I really don't think it was. I don't think it's too political. I think it's funny enough in that sense that people can just uh, take it as a lighthearted joke rather than some sort of a mean-hearted attack. It felt playful. Thank you. I'm glad because that's what I was going for. I had a much more divisive version, and my wife brought that up about the anyone who's going to see it as an attack will no matter. That's right. That's right. Those who are that thin-skinned, the sun will burn them. Uh, you changed background on us. Yeah, this is my lazy boy recliner my mom bought for me years ago, which has seen a lot of destruction and whatnot. Old timey war bonds feel. Oh, you love it? Yeah, thanks, guys. Uh, so yeah, sorry. I don't do this for my phone very often, but I'm letting my kids use my computer. They're all playing. What's that game where you sit around and try to find? Oh, thanks. I'm glad you. Yeah, this is one of my favorite shirts. I don't want to ever throw it away. Um, a lot of thin skin going around Comicsgate lately. Yeah, but let's not get into that. I don't wanna. I, I'm gonna hold to the 11th commandment for, do not speak ill of other comic skaters. Remember, this is your deal. Don't gauge it by other campaigns. This is your time to shine and just the beginning. By the way, check your email later. I will check my email later. Remind people they are decent and good. Yeah, yes, people, you are decent and good, and so is everybody in Comicsgate. Everybody has their bad moments, and so you can't judge someone just because they have a harsh moment or a bad moment. Could you give us a quick synopsis of the villain again, please? Hey, damn Tuga. Busby asks. Uh, the villain is a vampire named Svarog. Svarog, he's an ancient Russian vampire. Svarog, and actually, I haven't. No, no, I'm not going to do that. What's up, Zach? Um, he was actually around. Egg Chen, the audio was already recorder. Mike just has to crack the whip on Family Switch. Yes. I am gonna Edwin. I'm gonna upload your half of the video later tonight after I'm done, and then I'm gonna compile both of the videos together. So that's why I put the little Monty Python bit in there, so because it says now for something completely different. Because Edwin's part of the video is very serious and very somber. But so it's a completely different tone, but it's great. It's great. I'm sorry. I worry the main character will look more interesting without his mask than wearing it, which is a super weird criticism, I know. But speaking honestly, interesting without his mask. Well, you'll get to see his face. Um, so Svarog, yeah, he was actually. Gosh, do I want to tell his whole story? He goes back as far as a vampire, further back as a vampire as Lone Star does as a hero. So he's quite old, and he's from Russia. So yeah, I don't want to go into it too much, but yes, his power is that of persuasion, and so he can he can bring people of weak will and weak mind to his whim. He can control them. So yeah, I don't want to spoil it. There's so much. It's like you want to tell everything, but it's that's like the Ethan draws at night. When do you draw? I haven't been drawing too much lately. I've been trying to get too much stuff done for the Indiegogo. So would you characterize this story as more supernatural genre, action, or it's like it's a superhero story with supernatural foundations, I guess you could say, if that makes sense. It's all those Marvel movies making us seeing heroes without their masks, used to seeing heroes without their masks on. Maybe noticed in Justice League movie last night. Fair. Vigilante. Hey, Mike, I'll be buying my copy as soon as I get paid. I feel guilty not getting it on the first day, but I don't have the funds. I understand, Vigilante. Don't worry about it. You're always welcome to buy whatever you want at any time. Can't wait to back Lone Star. Thank you. I hope you guys are spreading the love. Uh, share my video, share whatever. Anybody you think, friends, family, uh, diehard enemies that you think would enjoy it. Please let them know about it. This is our project. If you guys don't back me, then this doesn't happen. And if you want to see a greater universe and a greater world um, in the comic sphere, and not just somebody, and not to belittle anybody who's just doing their own book, um, but I just have a greater goal in mind, and I really feel like that is the vision that God has given me. So I really do. I do need everyone. I need every single one of you to help, if you can, if you're willing. Oh, dude, I love that he can only influence weak-willed people. We see vampires capable of blanket mind control, but having that inherent limit makes it more interesting and has more of a message. Yeah, it's just like, the Jedi's. Your Jedi mind trick doesn't work on me. Ha ha ha. So he's a Russian bot who uses fake news. You guys are great. I freaking love doing this. Can Lone Star fight Stalin and a bunch of commie zombies? That's maybe. Maybe I'll do that classic. Oh, I already drew the him punching Hitler one, but it'd be fun to do one sort of like that, but him punching out Stalin with a bunch of Nazi zombies behind, or commie zombies behind. Isn't commie and zombie a little redundant though? Can Lone Star fight? When is it dropping again? Dropping midnight Eastern time, Saturday morning. So it is the first minute of Saturday on the East Coast, which is actually 9 o'clock on Friday where I'm at, and Friday, but I said Saturday, and so that's what it is. In your Indiegogo, will you have a tier where you will make trading cards like the way Uncle Ethan is doing? I made this suggestion that all Indiegogos make the cards look similar. Hmm. Yeah, I could totally do that. I didn't even think about that. That'd be very easy to slip into the. Yeah, 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 yeah. Heck, I could just. Yeah, let me think about that, Egg. And maybe shoot me a note on Twitter so I don't forget, or a message on here or something. Yeah. So tired of YouTube not sending me notifications. Even when I actively look for streams and vids, half of the time they don't show up until 10 or 20 minutes after the stream starts. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have your bell on, right? My friends and family are all normies. Nice. Why are you saying why is that sad? They should be normies. Uh, normies unite, right? Can't wait to see the book. I'll retweet and share it in this community wherever I can. Thanks, brother. ASMR. I think it is too late for an Alan Rickman to buy a copy. Alan Rickman, Mr. Quigley, shoot the glass. We'll be listening in. Isn't Alan Rickman's role in Quigley Down Under just like his best role? Forget Snape. He is so freaking awesome in Quigley Down Under. It's that's why I like really fell in love with that guy. Even better than in and as Hans Gruber. We'll be listening in at work now, cooking for Comic Con in Atlanta. Comic-Con Atlanta this weekend, huh? Shameless plug. I won't mention the name, but if you're going, try some barbecue. Right on. Will you release a Lone Star T-shirt independent of the Indiegogo before the book is released? I did just sign a deal with Crypto Fashion, right? For the Comics Gate Alliance shirt. So I could, yeah, definitely. I could definitely make that happen. What about Nazi zombies? Um, I mean, those would be fun little prints and stuff, or fun little things to do, but it's not really part of the whole milieu. God bless you, my friend. That's awesome. You're a fellow believer. I am indeed. I'll do what I can to get you support. Thanks, Vigilante. I also need, if anybody knows, I know there's only 38 of you watching, but I need places to send my press release that'll actually use it. I was just waiting to finish up this video so that I could have the entire thing on YouTube so that I could link it to my press release before I sent it out. So I want to send it out tomorrow. So if anybody knows anybody, private message me, and yeah, I want to get it out there as much as I can to whatever news outlets would be friendly to the concept. So, never seen any centrist moderate zombie. uh, Remember, this is just the first step on a longer journey to build this legacy for the next generation. Yes, 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 it is. I just don't want to make a misstep. I want this to be, out the gate. I want it to be successful and just, I don't know, show the world what we can do as a community. Or SJW zombies, again, redundant, or hipster zombies, also redundant. What are werewolves or lycanthropes in your verse, since it looks like we're going to have monsters? Any plans? I have not designed any as yet, but yeah, that will be, hey, they're monster hunters and werewolves are monsters, so um, Kami Zombie Super Action Hour. Lone Star family. Yeah, brother. We are family. All my Lone Star readers and me. As in, they're not into comics and stuff. Oh, those kind of normies. Right. Oops. My charging cable fell on the ground. Boy, it is hard to hold this phone like this. That's why I was trying to just do the blank thing. Are you sure you want to what? Wait. Like make a card of Lone Star and one of the main villain, I think would be good enough. Actually, I could do a set with all the unknown soldiers, and then I could only do. They could come randomly in the books, so you guys could like trade with each other. That'd be mean because you like couldn't get the cards you wanted. It's like, oh man, I got hothead. And there's iPod. That's Isaac. We call him iPod. That was his nickname. You should have some goofball. You should have some flyers to hand out at Comic-Con to promote the Indiegogo. Oh yeah, I'm making cards. They're cool little cards that I've got. I used to hand out like custom cards every Comic-Con, and I haven't been doing it. So yeah. But I'm doing it for this. It's got like, well, it's got art on the front and then like a website that I'm going to direct towards the Indiegogo. And then you flip it over on the other side and it's got some information. So, and all my, what do you call it? Social media. You said bye for Die Hard villains. Dad joke. Bye for Die Hard villains. Scratch goal. Ash Can of the Erotic Adventures of Lone Star. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pass on that one. Edwin Boyette, next year you do need to bring Blacklist to the Honolulu convention. Edwin, you go to the Honolulu Comic Con and the Amazing Hawaii show? And if so, tell me which one you think is more worth doing. I went to the Hawaii Comic Con one or the yeah, Amazing Hawaii Comic Con last year, and it was solid. It was a solid show. But they put that on my birthday now. So for the rest of time, it's on my birthday every weekend, and so or every year. So I don't know how many. I can't bring my entire family to Hawaii every time I go. So, oh, dude, I thought it dropped today. No, it doesn't. If it drops Saturday, I should be able to buy it first day. Sweet. The same shirt that Lone Star is wearing would be cool. Yeah. Actually, you know what? That's so funny. There's a guy that did some fan art on Twitter. It's on my Twitter if you want to flip there and find it. And I actually like his eagle that he did on the shirt better than mine. So I was thinking maybe I'd have Lone Star wear that at some point. But uh, I like other people's work better than my own. Well, they were jokey comments anyway. You and Edwin are fighting the good fight with a knife? I guess we're knife fighting? Edwin, I thought you were bare knuckle punching sharks today. If we go to SDCC, can we all stay at your house? We'll bring our own sleeping bags and beer. Um, sure. You can stay on my deck. I have a great big deck I built with my own two hands. Bounding into comics. And just bring a tent. Uh, Bounding into comics will cover your Indiegogo. Yeah, okay. I got to get that to them. I should write that down. I don't have anything to write anything down with. Everybody, just private message me, or tweet it to me or something so that I can remember. Vigilant reviews. Good to meet you, brother. No coincidences in God's plan. No, Zach. Thanks for the sub. Try bleeding cool. You're a funny guy. Yeah, bounding into comics is a good idea. Hipster zombie. There'll be zombie soy zombies. Zoiby, something like. Does anyone know Rob over at Comics Explained? He might give it a shout out. I do not. So, but again, any even suggestions? I can probably dig up some emails if I have the right suggestions. So just please message me or put it in the comments after the fact, so I can remember. Any Lone Star crossover plans in the future with other Comicsgate titles or characters? Plans? No. Suggestions? Yeah, doing a Red Rooster crossover at sometime during their lifespan, probably closer to closer to World War II. Or what might be interesting is Lone Star as a prior to become. Oh, if I did Lone Star prior to even being a hero as a crossover with Red Rooster. Oh, man, could be cool if they like met beforehand, prior to World War II, like in the Depression, and like Red Rooster inspired him. Oh, that could be so cool. Yeah, well, you never know. We'll see. We'll see. We could try tweeting Rob, but I'm pretty sure he's a shell. Multiple variant covers. Just two covers, and they're both the ones I've done. You've seen them already. That's the vampire fight cover and the human monster fight cover. The human monsters being your friendly neighborhood illegal immigrant gang. Is Lone Star ever going to be available in comic shops? If so, I'll let my comic shop know about your book. It'll be a while. I want to get my feet on the ground and get a nice running start with the project first. And it might be that we just end up having the issues available this way, and then just soliciting trades to comic stores and bookstores. But that's down the road, so I'm not really thinking about it just yet. I can't tell you how I chased cards while buying 90s Spider-Man series. I'd have to make a video about it. Actually, cool. Yeah, they are back to back. I'm going to go and need to wear some CGA shirts. Yeah, the crypto fashion guy thinks those shirts are going to be huge. So I hope so. I haven't sold too many of the prints. Um, I'd like to sell some more. So if you want the print, just make sure you go down to my store. It's in the description. Pick it up. I feel as if I'm always the youngest in these chats. How old are you, Tugga? Tugga. I think I'm the oldest guy in Comicsgate. The rest of those guys, not all of them, but most of them were like, I like, uh, what in their like 30s or something. So Rob does have a large following, though. He seems to really love comics. I don't know if he's a shill or not. Edwin representing. Edwin always represents. Class act. Would it be possible to get those cards in the Indiegogo campaign? I'd love one. Yeah, I mean, you guys think it would be a jerk move to do like a whole set and then randomize them in the campaign? Like each book comes with a card, but you don't know which card you're gonna get. Would that be a jerk move? Or it'd be kind of fun for me because it'd be um, like when what book was it? X Force came out, and they came with different like the Deadpool card. Oh no, they all came with the Deadpool card, didn't they? Did they? I think maybe they did. But I kind of like that randomization thing. How about a Lone Star's helmet silhouette shirt? Hmm. What is... Oh, that is what I was saying. Black shirt with a gold eagle. And the jacket looks really classy. Like just a person wearing that looks cool. Yeah, it would... Chat. What happened? I would wear... Is my phone getting hot? Oh, my phone's getting hot. Uh, get like a Ziploc with some ice. Eden, can you put some ice in this for me? Thank you. Thank you. That's too much. That's too much. I'll make you famous. Ah. All right, I'm gonna put my phone on this bag of ice. All right. Yeah, when it overheats, it stops reacting, and then eventually just shuts down because it's a computer and it cannot overheat. Oh, you know what I could do? I could take it out of the case. The case is... Hold on. Give me 1 second. There we go. Righty. That will probably allow it to cool down much faster. Okay, I would wear a Lone Star logo shirt. Sweet. Yeah, let me do that. I'm gonna do that. Lone Star's helmet silhouette shirt does sound good. Hey, Mike, it's Edwin's Mrs. Hello, Mrs. Edwin. As I was listening, I was thinking how Jack Black sounds a lot like you. Jack Black? You mean Nacho? When a soybean bites you, you turn into an SJ. Those damned soybeans. Uh, you Japs owe everything to General Douglas MacArthur. It's true. It's true. Wow, there's no way you guys waited this long. Nope, only two of you. uh, okay. Well, I'm gonna read the streams anyways, even though you guys all bailed. Uh, yeah, my phone did freaking blow up. Oh my gosh, 19 of you are back on. That's crazy. You just jumped right back on. Vote no random cards banks. Well, how about if I do? How about if I do random cards for every single book? Um, but if you get like, ooh, okay. So the deal is with the USO donate one. You buy five, $80, which is count in its of itself. With that $80, at least five um, to the USO, which is I want to not make. I'm gonna send as many. Um, so, but what if I did that, and so you can get, and then maybe with that one you get all the different cards. Mike's stuck. I know. I know. This. I don't know what was going on. This phone. Maybe the kids killed it after all. I think you should try getting an iPad for streaming. I think they handle streams better. I have an iPad actually. I just don't have charge. Black screen. Sorry, we have to get you 147 more subs so you can super chat to get your phone a chillo instead of a bag of ice to cool it down. I took it out of its case. The case is a little, probably warms it up a little. Uncle Mike needs a new setup. Oh man, Uncle Mike needs a new lot of things. I need a new computer. I need a new setup. Uh, you don't even know. She was singing that song from Phantom of the Opera with Robert England. Yeah, can get a whole new setup. Samurai Jacked. That's not my name. I think Mike's phone went nuclear. Yeah, my phone had a bit of a conniption fit. I actually had to complete the battery. It's 5 years old, but it's not that I don't want. It's not that I want a new phone. I like the Note 4 because if I had this problem with another phone, I couldn't take the back off and pop the battery out. After the Note 4, they stopped making phones where you can take the battery out. So even though this one is now broken, cracked screen and everything, I'm gonna send this one back to Sprint. I'm gonna buy another Note 4 off Amazon for like $100. Run, it'll run better because it won't have as much. The SJWs have hacked Mike's channel. SJW strike again. Mike's phone was burned out by the Portland Comics Mafia. There's always the internet to watch that if I want it. VHS, brother. Buffering. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. You guys probably had like a gap. I can't believe you guys were all back here. Dude, I just heard your comment about being the youngest. I'm 17. Wow, you are young. It's down to only 4, 3. Thanks for keeping track. I believe. I'm glad you believed. I can't believe this. I can't believe it just kept going. Um, that was interesting. I was round before Jesus had his moment of doubt and shame. something. These woo. Well, dang. I just gotta wait it out. Edwin's still here. It's a party. Edwin, my brother. The Silver Fox of Comics Gate is what I have dubbed Edwin, and that he shall forever be. Edwin, I think you should change your your YouTube name to the Silver Fox of Comics Gate. Only two people here. I'm here. LOL. Edwin, lead us in a rally charge. Do you have a channel on YouTube? Of course, Edwin has a channel. Go subscribe to it. I do. I just occasionally post on it. No, he does a lot of videos on the Twitter. So follow him on Twitter. I think it's just at Edwin Boyette. He can correct me if I'm wrong. But you can get all his pearls of wisdom on Twitter. He posts several videos a day. So Edwin can walk over and get this taken care of. Yeah, it says 3 for me. Y'all ever met Dog the Bounty Hunter? Grant, Edwin, how did you get the cut on your head? He doesn't even know. He did a video about it on Twitter. I tend to go on with Umbrella Guy a lot. Only saw the South Park parody of Dog. You should seriously consider doing an interview show on your channel. We'd love to hear you talking to people from different backgrounds. Oh, you're talking to Edwin. Oh, you guys were just having a nice little chat with Edwin while I was gone. I see how you are. You weren't all praying. Cool story to tell you. I probably just banged my melon on a job site. I don't remember doing it though. I don't think it's coming back online. See, you were wrong, Toga. You didn't believe. Your faith was weak. Freaking TV. I met both Dog and Beth once. Zector, whoa. Interview show. Back. He's back. Yay, I'm back. Yay. I just got here. Alpha Pro. A few of us stayed. Yeah, y'all had a nice little chat while I was gone. I appreciate you keeping people in line, Edwin. Gotta sign 9x7. Let's let it. Lone Star. Does Lone Star have his own secret club like the Order of the Dawn? He's in the Unknown Soldiers. So it's a secret club. It's a secret corps of special forces guys, fallen soldiers who were given a chance to be quote unquote reborn with special abilities, and that is who the fallen soldiers are, and drafted in the war against the monsters of the world. If you're making cards, go hardcore and make one of the tiers a tarot of your design. No, tarot's not my thing. I'll pass. Oh, it might be cool. No, that'd be too much to ship. I was thinking about doing like a playing card set and have all the face cards be like the Unknown Soldiers and whatnot. But yeah, those would be too hard to ship. Or too null. I'm trying to maintain shipping. I'm trying to cut down, like I'm doing the even though I was advised not to do this, I'm dropping my shipping to $8 instead of 10 like everybody else, because I be a way within America at least to get stuff shipped for less than $10. And I know it's going to cost money for the packaging and all that stuff, but I'm just trying as much as possible. I mean, I'm doing a $20 version. It says $19.95 on the thing, but when I went to put in $19.95 on Indiegogo, it wouldn't let me. It only lets you do increments of full dollars. So I'm doing a $20 version, although $19.95 does sound better for the commercial because it's like Billy Mays here. Only $19.95. But yeah, so I'm doing the $20 version. If you don't care about my signature, you just want this book so you can read it, and you're not gonna stick it in a bag and board and shove it in a crate or something. So $20 and $8 if you're in the United States for shipping. So $28. It's only, I think that saves you guys a little bit of money, and that's what I'm trying to do. I just want to get it into more people's hands. Um, I know the $25 price point. I mean, it's only $5 more, but uh, and I don't think it's too much to ask, but I just want to make it as cheap as possible for you guys who who you know can't splurge as much. We're not all in the same uh, financial bracket. I mean, I when I buy comics, I buy the what? Oh, really? Oh, Silas is too. All right. Anyways, if you dig into your nose, though, it'll make it epic. What are you guys even talking about? Akashic. EBS has his natural charm and sense of humor to make him big. Mitch has cornered the whole pristine, perfect artist angle. Maybe you could blow up by saying Lone Star is a Christian. Lone Star is a Christian. I even have him praying in a scene that I think I've shown. Um, but yeah, he is and he is a believer like me. He should name it to Better Than Morgan Freeman. Let's see. Offer a premium tier with for multiple copies of the book with all the card variants. How about foil cards? I don't know. Let's see how it goes. If if this is just crazy successful, then I'll have the money to like crazy foil cards or whatever. But right now, I'm just trying to get to the point this can pay me as much as just working for DC, right? Um, and bottom line, that means I have to reach about $70,000 just to hit that. So that would be like if all I made was 70,000, I'd be stoked. I'd be happy to get 70,000, but that would be like bare bones for me. Um, so yeah, let's see if we can get us there before we start talking about making things extra famous. That's I start doing I make start making promises like that, and then I'm eating into the mortgage. Um, Whenever I see Lone Star, I'm as Jensen Ackles. Granted, Jensen Ackles would make a good Lone Star. I still want Chris Pratt, my silly oldest boy. No, a secret club. Oh, a secret club. Huh. Let's see. Yeah, like with decoder rings and everything, huh? And oh, an arm. Of course, it would just be the Texas flag. Hmm. We'll consider that. That would be legendary for Lone Star to be. So is Pastor. Those are the two Christians in the Unknown Soldiers. The other four guys are not, or not necessarily. Uh, Tom Strong had his strong man. Actually, speaking of tiers, ever consider having figures or status? Oh, statues. Not with this one. Actually, have a friend who is a 3D model designer for what's that the company Pop, the company that does Plants vs Zombies, Pop something. Anyways, dear friend, he's like my little brother, and he's going to be modeling. Oh shoot, that's what I was supposed to be working on. Um, Gosh, so much stuff I just forget it. I need to do a turnaround for him. He's going to model a sculpt for me of Lone Star. I'm going to have Lone Star like holding the American flag up. Um, and and then we're going to have it 3D printed, but not for this one because he doesn't have time to do it now. Plus, it's going to be really expensive because I don't think a lot of people are going to buy it. So when you're doing low run statues, they're really expensive to make. So I'm going to do it for the second issue, um, as a tier. But and I'll make it as cheap as possible. But yeah, charge $10 across the board like Ethan did. Well, what I'm doing is I'm doing because I fully expect 98% of my orders to come from America or something like that. Because tracking my YouTube, um, that's like that's like about I'm like 95% America. So I'm gonna do $10 or $8 for America, save you guys a couple dollars, um, and then $15 outside the country. Uh, so that way you guys aren't subsidizing um, the foreign purchases as much as you would be otherwise. Uh, awesome idea. Lone Star is a Christian. Yeah, he's always meant to be. Never anything otherwise. I can't wait for my son to read Lone Star and to have a comic book hero he can actually look up to and admire. Yeah, that's what heroes are for. That's right. That's the idea. You don't want your. I hate the deconstruction of heroes. I mean, it started like in the 80s when I started reading comics, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse over the decades. Trying to think of how I can sell you and who I can sell you to. Well, just make sure you don't sell me cheap. If people have ideas, let them in the com in the leave them in the comments for me so I know where I can advertise them. Scotty Richard Studio, can you make a big sticker that says this area is under protection from violent communists, Nazis, and anarchists by the Lone Star Watch Squad? Ooh, stickers. Gosh, you guys are coming up with good ideas. Stickers. Yeah. Stickers I think I can do. Uh, that's why you make big rewards, stretch goals, not just tiers. Yeah, I hear you, Mikey. Baby steps. Yes. Chris Pratt is good with humor. That classics 80s action hero stuff. Yeah, that's how I want Lone Star to be. You know, I mean, he's been through a lot, and some people deal with tragedy with humor, and so I want him to, I want him really to have kind of a Chris Pratt type of feel. You know, how much for dog tags? Oh, that'd be sick. Dang it, you guys and all your great ideas. You're driving me nuts. Uh, nice. My character, the bull, is a Christian too. He does good deeds and is inspired by do unto others phrased as treat others how you want to be treated in my book. I agree at Grant Hall. Stretch goals are where you can introduce some of the super fun stuff and not eat into the house payment. Yeah. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Dwayne Johnson is pretty much the closest thing to an 80s action star these days. He's indestructible in films. I love Dwayne Johnson. Yeah. I'd love to see him and Chris Pratt in a movie together. That'd be fantastic. I think they'd really play well off of each other. Except they'd be trying to upstage each other the whole time. You really want to shock people, make him from Mississippi and put their flag on him. He has the Confederate flag, where the blue and the stars are in the American flag. No, sorry, his name is Lone Star. He is from Texas. PopCap. Yeah, I think that's it. Ah, the second issue, yes. Can your friend model the vehicles you have in your comic? It would save you a lot of time just tracing 3D models. It would save time, but it's not really a vehicle-centric book, so why bother? The comic book ASM artist, probably good. 60, 70% of my heroes are Christians. There are of course, non-Christians too, and not all heroes are strong in their faith. Yeah. Um, America First. $15 shipping. Ouch, that's going to suck. Well, if you look at it this way, if you get the $20 version of the book and the $15 shipping, it's technically the same deal as getting one of Ethan's books for $25 with $10 shipping. Is Lone Star's religion a major influence in his life? Of course, of course. It's your faith is foundational to who you are as a person. It's your worldview. It's what drives your morality, and yeah, absolutely, as well it should be. Grant Hall, awesome. Yep, people are at different stages in their faith. Sounds good. Yeah, and that's fun. I mean, I I lead I'm one of the leaders of the high school ministry at my church, and I do a Bible study here at my house for some of the kids. And yeah, definitely, you know, everyone has different stages um, in their faith. Everyone has, um, gosh, how do you say it? Different levels of faith, different. Um, I don't know if it's stages is the right word, but different levels of acceptance, different levels of how intrinsic they make their faith to the decisions they make, and you can see the those who take their faith less seriously are the ones making the bad decisions. Um, yeah, it's really when you're talking about high schoolers, it's really blatant how much your faith affects, because as when you're a teenager, you're kind of physically driven to make dumb mistakes, right? It's almost chemical. Um, and so, but if you've got a very strong faith, um, then it like countermands that, or at least it drives you to try to avoid making those kind of mistakes. Um, and I see it very clearly being a high school leader and having teenagers of my own. How about baseball caps with Lone Star logo on it? Um, I don't like hats too much. I like more old-fashioned hats, but baseball caps, I know a lot of people do, so I don't know. Maybe if there's enough call for it. Dog tag would be sweet. Dog tag would be sweet, and it'd be pretty easy to package too. Rampage was surprisingly good. Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. I want to. I want to see. I like seeing everything with Dwayne Johnson. I just watched Jumanji with the kids. Was that yesterday or something? Yeah, he's so great in that. He's really fun to watch. Seems like a really nice guy. Rampage was a lot of fun. Didn't expect much going in. Dwayne Johnson, Chris Pratt can't be in the same place at the same time. It would cause a charisma explosion. They would just have like these arcs of electricity between them, like Tesla. They'd become a Tesla coil or something. Uh, that's a great idea. I hope he makes them. They can't cost much. Yeah. Like Faye, I'm a writer. I am an ideas man. I love just brainstorming for ideas until we find the right ones. It's important to me that Mike succeeds. We all need to help build him up. Yes, please. Thank you. Get to your head. Glad to hear you are doing that leadership. There's nothing quite like it. I was going to go to art school until a friend joined the escort service. I majored in youth ministry after to help kids. Yeah, wow. That's crazy. Ethan and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers would love those caps. Dwayne's got another film coming out soon called Skyscraper. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, he hasn't been in all of the best films, but whatever films he's in, he's the best part, right? Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and he I don't know, he's toying with running for something in politics. I can't remember. Was it? Did he say he wanted to run for president? I mean, weird. I would vote for Dwayne Johnson. I wouldn't even care what his politics were. uh, I love Walking Tall. Yeah. Did you guys or did you see the original Walking Tall from the 70s? I remember that from when I was a kid. So stepped out for a minute. Heard that that was a yes on LONESTAR being a Christian. That's awesome. Yes. Yes, yes. Edwin, how did you not know that already? He joked about running for president, actually. So it was a joke, yeah. I'm sure it was a joke, but it would be great. Uh, The Rock is best in ensemble movies. He's weak when he's the star of the movie. What was that movie he did? What, Secret Central Intelligence or something like that? That he was great. I hope he was joking. Walking Tall was so short though. It was just over an hour. Was it really? I didn't even notice. Oh man, this thing's dripping now. I need my bag o' ice. I just don't want to get this thing wet. Can't say I have. I'm only in my 30s. So, they have these things on the internets now. Only thing I know from the 70s are Star Wars and Taxi Driver. What about Jaws? You've never seen Jaws? Come on. Jaws came out the same year as Star Wars. Actually, that's an interesting story. Did you know that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg had a bet about Star Wars and Jaws because both of them thought the other film would do better, and so they bet against each other. They bet 1 point, so 1% of the profit from the movies. George bet that Jaws would do better, and Steven bet that Star Wars would do better. And so when Star Wars now Steven Spielberg owns 1% of Star Wars because he believed in it more than he believed in Jaws. And he was right. Blazing Saddles. Oh, dude, yeah. Come on, Blazing Saddles is one of the best. It was like every time a new technology would come out, like when it would go from VHS to DVD and then DVD to Blu-ray, one of the very first movies I would always buy was Blazing Saddles. Shoot, what happened here? I hate getting this close to. Yes, Death Wish with Charles Bronson. Man, there's a lot of great movies from the 70s. This bag is like leaking. Is there holes in the Ziploc? What in the great googly moogly is going on here? All right, I gotta go switch Ziplocs out. You guys are gonna go on a walk with me through the kitchen, and I'm spinning. No! I need another baggie. Okay. Look at the ceiling for a minute. The Rock is much easier to take in ensemble films like Central Intelligence and Jumanji. Well, that wasn't an ensemble. It was a buddy film. It was a buddy flick. Trying to think what movie he. Okay. I have to charge my phone. Wow, this thing was really sucking up battery power. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That bag left a big old puddle on the table. I apologize for my technical difficulties. I should just call this the Technical Difficulty Show, because it seems like that's all I ever have. All right, always find new people to follow in chat. I like the new Death Wish. I haven't seen it yet. And I love Bruce Willis too. He's one of my favorites, and he's one of us. That's great. So, haven't seen it yet. Barely the movies. Why isn't this charging? This cable is not charging. Why isn't this cable charging? What the heck? Oh, it's not plugged in. That's why it wasn't charging. Dadgummit. Charging now? Still not charging. What is the flippin' deal here? Why on God's green earth is this not charging? Why do I have nothing but technical difficulties, guys? What is the deal? Is it the Portland Comics Mafia? Are they messing with me? Alright, I need to go find a better charging cable than this. Wait, let me try. No, that outlet works fine. How do you guys put up with this? Is there another charging cable in here? Oh, there's one on the battery. Ah. And plug. Charging? Charging! Ooh, this battery doesn't have a lot of juice in it. All right. Ooh, now I'm dizzy. All right, well, I guess I'll go until my battery dies. Let's zip back up here. I know there were some questions about Lone Star I missed, right? Or we're just going to talk about movies. Okay, dog tag. Rampage, Chris Pratt, writer, leadership, Lone Star is a Christian, rock is an ensemble. I haven't seen the original Walking Tall. I can't get behind the name Buford Pusser. Oh, Jaws 2, too. Kevin Hart is really annoying, though. Kevin Hart's funny. Annoying and funny. You can be both, you know. Blazing Saddles, of course. You can start a sweatshop making those World War II pilot helmets out of fake leather. Pretty sure you can find a pattern on the internet. Oh, yeah. And I've got the kids for a sweatshop, too. Edwin, Death Wish with Charles Bronson, of course. Said that already. I've watched plenty of movies released before 1998. I didn't realize the first Star Wars was in 1977. Yeah, I was just a little kid, man. Does Lone Star have a good villain? A strong villain really highlights the hero. Yeah, we talked about the villain earlier, prior to my most recent phone debacle. His name is Svarog, and he's an ancient Russian vampire in this series. So he won't be the villain for the second series. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Another one. You guys are great. Yeah, like I was saying, how there. So there are a few movies I would always buy with every new technology. Unforgiven, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Blazing Saddles, Blade Runner. Star Wars. Except that I don't think it. I don't. No, I never got it on Blu-ray. Did it come out on Blu-ray? Because eventually I just stopped buying new stuff because it was all on. It's all on download now. So. Edwin Boyette, they made a crappy remake with Bruce Willis. Oh, is it crappy? Bruce Willis is my man. How can you say it's crappy? Man, you don't disappoint me like that, Bruce Willis, man. I want him in my movie. I've got a movie at a production company right now. Um, it's out to some actors, and man, I would love Bruce Willis to be in it. He's my boy. I love that guy since I used to watch him religiously on Moonlighting in the 80s. If you guys haven't seen Moonlighting, it's one of the best TV shows ever. Go back. It's Bruce Willis. He had hair. Uh, he plays a detective named David Atkinson, and yeah, it's fantastic. It's still holds up. I watched it on YouTube a couple years ago, and I'm like, yeah, man, that still holds up. Still really good. Uh, Barely go to movies. Always nice to find new people. New Death Wish. Mike, can you share a bit about how copyright works? I'm scared to death about talk about my ideas because I don't want them stolen. How do we protect our properties? Publish them. Yeah, it's hard because you know there's people out there who will steal your ideas. I've had ideas stolen, but if you've only got one idea, then how creative can you be, right? Um, I've got a bazillion ideas, so it's like I've had a couple of them stolen, or maybe not even stolen, but okay, you know what? Deal with the Devil was straight up ripped off by a movie called Welcome to the Punch. Um, so Deal with the Devil is about a FBI manhunter who is chasing down his suspect. The suspect traps him and puts a bullet in his knee to get him to stop chasing him. And then the suspect retires from being a murderer. And so later on, um, and then later on in the story, he has to work with the suspect in order to save an innocent person. And it's straight up, I mean, I published this thing in, what, 12 years ago maybe. So there's this movie called Welcome to the Punch, and and what's his face is in it from X-Men. He plays Charles Xavier, the young guy. But my wife like is infatuated with this guy, so she rented that movie because he was in it. And I'm sitting here watching it. I'm like, this is Deal with the Devil. Whoever made this movie got my comic book and just changed it enough that it wasn't like because mine was like an older FBI guy, um, and it was a serial killer rather than this guy was more like I can't remember, he was a hitman or something like that. So they changed it up a little bit, but like all of the plot beats were there, and I'm like watching it just freaking shaking my head, so irritated. But even in that case, it was a published stinking book, um, and they stole it and changed it just enough that they could do whatever they wanted with it. So what are you gonna do? Deal with it. Make another one. Um, da, 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 da. I'm sick of The Rock and Kevin Hart, to be honest. Oh, you're breaking my heart, man. How can you be sick of The Rock? He's so likable. Dwayne's likability and commitment makes it easier, but there's something about Kevin I don't get. Barely go to the movies, so I see people. Gremlins. Yeah, Gremlins, man. What was that? 1984, I think. Most movies are disappointing these days. Blade Runner 2049, Hostiles, Sicario, others are pretty great though. I liked Blade Runner 2049. I did. I thought it had the right feel um, for the series. I thought it was really good. My mother was Edwin says my mother was a children's librarian. My father was MI? I don't know what that means. Our TV broke once, and we didn't get a new one for 3 years because no one missed it when I was a kid. um, yeah, our TV's broken right now. Our second TV. Going back to the name of this, you can have kids, or you can love your kids, or you can love your stuff. So my kid, 6 months ago, broke our TV, throwing a remote control at it. And then a few weeks ago, he broke the new one, um, having a little tantrum. But he's special needs, and so I can't get as angry as I would get if one of the other kids had done it. Well, the other kids wouldn't have done it. But yeah, he got mad because one of the kids told him to go to bed and shut off the Xbox while he was playing a video game, and he just pounded it and cracked the screen. And yeah, it's just dead now. So now everybody's constantly in my bedroom because it's the only TV that works. And they plug the Xbox in there, and it's like, ugh, get out of my room. The new deal. Oh, the new Deal Wish, Death Wish, looks like a ripoff of John Travolta's movie I Am Wrath. I haven't seen that. Don't really read. Ever had a chance to rent Metro series? Metro series, no. We love you, dude. LOL. Are you talking to me? I hope you're talking to me. We put up with this because you are very polite. Oh, you mean all? Oh, this was when I was running around my house looking for a charging cable. It is maintaining my battery at 12%. I've got one of these battery packs, but the kids have been using it, and so it is not it does not have a full charge. I use the phone mount, a phone mount. We're struggling with you, and it's entertaining. And of course, we love you. I love you guys. I'm so glad you're part of my YouTube family. Edwin Boyette, we're probably close to the same age. Edwin is 45 years old. He's a youngster. 2 more spins and Vertigo will charge your licensing fees. Vertigo, there's a great film. That's one of Hitchcock's best. And I've been to that mission. No, I'm trying to remember what the name, the mission that in Vertigo. Yeah, I went there on a field trip when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade. Because I'm from San Jose, so yeah. Old time radio was great. Had to use your imagination, yeah. Can I get all the Christians in chat to pray for my mother? She is in hospital recovering from surgery and has a bunch of other health issues. You got it, Grant. Yeah, actually, my mom had a biopsy today. So if you guys could pray for positive results on that, that'd be great. And the stories were awesome. Check out X-1 and Lights Out on Google. Sure, Grant. Absolutely, Grant. Thank you. Let's just pray for Grant's mom right now. Lord, we all come together here across the planet to pray for Grant's mom. We pray that she recovers well, recovers strong, and help her to be healed from her health issues. Pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. I'm not necessarily a prayer, but I hope she recovers. Tombstone, Grant Hall, hoping for the best for your mom. She is. Outlaw Josie Wells. Oh, yeah, another great one. Yeah, all the great Clint Eastwood westerns were in the 70s, except for Unforgiven, which is hands down to me his best western. So, you just shot a man in cold blood. Well, he should have armed himself. He's gonna decorate his saloon with my friend. From the reviews, it's crappy, but it seems kind of crappy. The director, Frank Grant. Moonlighting taught me how to smirk as a kid. Put the pedal to the metal, Gretel. Bruce Willis was so great. It was Moonlighting is a detective drama comedy from the 80s, starring Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd, and it's really great. It's really hard to find on like Hulu or anything like that, but they have oddly shaped episodes of it on YouTube you can find. I'd strongly suggest checking it out. It's great. Svarog needs a title like Svarog the Crimson King, that kind of thing. Russian isn't intuitive enough for most readers. They'll end up forgetting and messing up his name without one. That's a good suggestion. Thank you. Moonlighting was a show in the 80s, a great show. I used to record it on my VHS and just play those things over and over again. It was one of my favorites. I would do that with Moonlighting and Transformers. I used to pause Transformers and watch it frame by frame to watch them transform. It was great. Popping out for a smoke break with Bruce Willis. Svarog. Yes, Ethan had his idea of X-23 stolen. Yeah, I heard that story. Um, I had um, I had my idea for Exiles stolen. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Exiles comic book, where Morph and Blink and somebody else jump around from a multiverse to multiverse universe. That's not even my kid. There's just always kids here. It's weird. Um, but so I was working on X-Man at the time. I think I've told this story before on here. And X-Man is like the most powerful mutant in Marvel. It's basically Nate Gray. It's basically Cable without the techno-organic virus. So his telekinesis is like super powered, right? And so X-Man was kind of going nowhere. Um, and at the time, Mutant X, which was Havoc in a different dimension or a different multiverse, um, was like the most popular second tier X title. It was like hugely popular. And so I wrote this pitch up and gave it to my editor, Jason Liebig, at the time. And it was, hey, how about we have Polaris like comes in and tells Nate, she's like, man, I really feel like Havoc is still alive. And so she gives him Havoc's headdress, right? And says, can you like hone in, because she knows he's from a different multiverse. He's from the Age of Apocalypse universe. And can you like try to hone in on him and maybe uh, uh, universe hop to find him if he's out there? And so he does it. He hops over to the Mutant X universe. We do like a 6-issue crossover. And then from there, or maybe not 6 issues, whatever, we do a crossover for a couple months. And then from there, he has nothing to hone back in on the standard Marvel universe with. And so instead, he goes back to his home universe, which is the Age of Apocalypse universe. So he jumps back there and he links back up with Blink and Morph. And I even did a drawing of this, which got published in an episode of something. I don't remember what it was. Um, and then they start universe hopping like Sliders. Sliders was a show at the time where you go to different dimensions. And I even had a list of different like cool universes where like the first one they would go to was one where all mutants were like um, enslaved, their powers enslaved them. Um, but regardless, Bob Harris, and I don't know Bob personally, so but this is just what happened. So, however it happened, Bob Harris declined on the story idea, even though they were like stuck for anything to do with X-Man, and this would have been a great thing to do. It would have because the problem was he was too powerful for this universe, right? So getting him out of this universe and having him do these really fun, cool, exact actions, blah blah blah. So he says no, and then 6 months later, my editor Jason calls me up and he's like, "Dude, you are not gonna like this." And he tells me about Exiles. And he tells me, A, somebody else is drawing it, or that obviously somebody else is writing it because I wanted to write it. And then B, that I don't even get to draw it. And so, whatever. Uh, Things get stolen. That's not the kind of situation where you just say, oh, that was parallel development. No, it wasn't not parallel development. I sent that pitch to the X office, and then 6 months later, they did the book without me and without X-Man. James McAvoy, correct. Yes, my wife loves James McAvoy. It's McGee. Hey, Mike, Streamy Lake. Haha. Yeah, what time is it? It's 12:31. Hey, I think the screwy law is as long as you can demonstrate a 10% change, it doesn't fall under intellectual property. Yeah, it's weird. Twilight Zone, Night Galler, good old Rod Serling. My kid raged on a Wii U pad and broke it. I'm actually the manager of a special needs group home currently. Praying, thank you, yay. Juan Bautista, Vertigo is a brilliant film. Yes, it is. Can do. Keeping your mom and my family in prayer. Thanks, Jiminy Cricket, Jason. Amen. Hoping the best for your grants, mom. Thank you, Mike. God bless you, brother. God bless you, Grant. God bless your mom too. Not a prayer, but also same. All the best. Right on. Gran Torino is a great Eastwood film too. Yeah, that is a good one. Um, I love Clint's directing. It's so like chill. It's like nothing flashy or it's just so grounded. His directing. So yeah, Pale Rider not bad too. Yeah. That movie weirded me out as a kid though. Pale Rider. I was reading a book that said what usually determines the success of kids is when they become adults is determine how to use people like their strengths and stuff or how to take advantage of them, Josie. Have you read Old Man Logan? If you like Unforgiven, you should. I have not read Old Man Logan. I do have an issue of it somewhere around here. Emadio Gaming, I'm gay. That is my son's account, but I think that the boy who is visiting us is the one who just got on his thing and said that because he does that. Okay, back at you. Y'all have a good one. Later, Zach. Moodlighting. Set the template for every other detective series starring a female detective and a goofy, eccentric male partner where they bicker a lot and then eventually become a couple. Hey, you just summed up the entire series. Oh, dude, you worked on X-Men. Yes, I did. X-Men 55 through through until it got taken over by Grant Morrison. I remember those X-Men comics. I never read them because I didn't understand who X-Men was. Well, now you know. I'm the guy who gave him the new costume. Remember in the big, I think it was an Onslaught crossover, he had the costume that looked like an old X Factor costume. That was me. I wrote that into the book because we had a story where he was going back to visit Jean Grey and Scott. And I was like, I flippin' hate X-Man's costume, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna change his costume. Is it okay if I just rewrite it into the script? And they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I had that page where, and I didn't get credited for writing or anything, but I rewrote the script so that Scott comes out like his Scott costume gets destroyed. So I destroy it during the fight, and then Scott comes out and he says, well, we have this old X Factor costume, but it was like a preliminary costume, so it wasn't like exactly like the X Factor costumes because it had those thick, more designy thick lines on the side. Um, so I put him in that, and then I gave him his belt back, so it like broke up the lines of the costume. And then it was like one of my biggest thrills in at least my early career, was seeing Alan Davis drawing that costume like in that uh, that Onslaught crossover thing. I was like, Alan Davis is drawing my costume design. I was like, so I love Alan Davis's work. So it was my big nerdy thing. All right. Reminds me of my younger brother. Sliders was awesome. Sliders. I love Sliders. Don't tell me they ditched you and took your idea. That is what that is what happened. Yes. I've heard so many stories like that with Marvel and DC. Yet another reason I love Comicsgate and this new dawn of comics. Yes. So do I. James McAvoy is a great actor, though. Yeah, he is. But he did a film where they stole my idea. So what are you gonna do? Did you ever work on the Reign of Superman series? No, man. When Reign of Superman came out, what was that? 90? I think it was 90. I wasn't even in comics yet. I started in 92. Honestly, I don't care if people steal my ideas after I publish and have similar characters. I just don't want anyone to steal them before I publish, thereby stopping me from using them. Yeah, that's it. Tried watching District 9. That was one of the most realistic and grounded alien movies I've seen. Yeah. But it was all about apartheid, man. It was all about apartheid. Grant Hill still, and it's immoral and crappy for creators that even dare to do that. Agreed, but if you're gonna have your stuff stolen, at least that would be the lesser of two evils. I don't know why you said that. I'm back. Just got done watching some funny MSM 2016 election videos. Far left libs freaking out cracks me up. Yeah, well, we get a lot of that nowadays. The left is broken. Trump has broken them, and now their breaking just is comedy for us. Those X-Men comics are pretty reasonably priced on LoneStarComics.com. LoneStarComics.com? Is there a LoneStarComics.com? Is that like a... Oh, no way. That's crazy. Because I just registered LoneStarComic.com. That could get confusing. Let's see here. Whoop. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Sorry. Uh-oh. Oh, did you get a freeze up? Sorry. Anybody ever see protesters screaming, "Save space" in that college campus? It's hilarious and troubling at once. Yeah, they're... I don't know what is going on with how their minds are just so badly warped by all their communist professors. It's like they can't think straight. They can't think rationally or reasonably. Um, God forbid, logically. Uh, was it you that was doing Injustice? Yeah, I worked on Injustice for the better part of 5 years. I was on the first issue. I did the last 10 pages of the first issue, and then there was always multiple teams. So I did roughly about a third of all the Injustice comics for Injustice: Gods Among Us, and then I did the Supergirl chapters for the first I don't know, first while on Injustice 2, and then I just kind of phased out. So that was me, Victor the Ripper. I said this in your last live stream before it went black. Make a set of 9 cards, and when you turn them around, they make one big picture like they did back in the day. That trailer for the Lone Star campaign was hilarious. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah. Get on here a little later. After I get off of here, I'm gonna upload the new one which has the tail end. It's like a second commercial, but with Edwin's voiceover doing a more sober commercial. It's like 2 commercials in one, and that's why I did the now for something completely different bit in the middle, because it's completely different, but it's also a great way to sell it. Oh, the trailer had a really cool old school feel to it. Well, this one, the other one, the Edwin one, has a really old school feel to it. It's neat. I don't think it's fair to blame it all on the professors. The truth is much uglier. It's easier to be a communist or a socialist, to be lazy-minded, and so they simply do not want their ideas challenged. But no, it's not just college professors. It is academia far and wide, um, across the board. Um, yeah, they made a concerted effort in the 60s. Um, I mean the perfect example of it is Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dorn, where they were literally communist terrorists blowing up American buildings and American, trying to kill Americans and blowing up buildings in our country. They get off on a technicality, right? And then where do they go? Into academia. It's uh, yeah. So the communist movement, they're like, well, we can't blow America up to fix it. So they took the long, steady road of indoctrinating our children into communism, and now look where we are. We've we've uh, definitely need to have a blacklist universe. Absolutely, brother. That is the goal and the whole point for me. Thing is, the gender studies degree is useless in any and all jobs. So reality is going to hit them in like a truck in 5 years or so. Here's the thing, though: the creation of the gender studies and women's studies and all of these little fake degrees that are completely useless. I think that was all part of the plan to create um, the debt and the dependence, and obviously the just the left wing ideology that drives them towards socialism and identity politics and all that stuff. I think it's probably laid out. I haven't read Rules for Radicals, but I wouldn't doubt if that was like part of the whole plan to begin with, is like create all of these completely. You didn't used to go to college to spend $100,000 learning crap that is completely worthless in real life, right? You used to go to college to learn a skill, to learn a trade, to learn a craft, to learn things that were applicable to having a real successful life in a free market economy, not to just go blow money, get in debt, and then want to suck off the government tip for the rest of your life. But that's what they've done, and they've done a bang up job. You got to give them props. They did take over academia, and they have screwed this entire generation. So um, I agree. Academia is really under the control of the left, but the problem is with the ideas and human weaknesses. If we teach our children to have strong minds and how to learn, it won't work. The problem, Akashic Soldier, is that too many parents uh, give that right away to the people who babysit their kids 8 hours a day in public schools. That's why I homeschool most of my kids. That my daughter goes to a charter school, and my youngest goes to a public school because he's special needs. But the other kids are homeschooled. They go to a shared school once a week. Um, but no, there will be no indoctrinating of my children into this mentality. But that's sort of the thing. You're feeding into this easy mentality of life where, um, this Marxist concept that if there's enough people, or the technology has gotten, and this was the concept, that technology would get to the point where we could create the food and create the necessities of life, and so people wouldn't have to work, and that they could just, people could just live lives of leisure or create art or do women's studies or whatever it is, that they don't have to be productive members of society because society already produces enough that we don't have to have everyone working. Like 2/3 of the population can just basically be retired and suck off the government tit for the rest of their lives. And that's like Marxism. And it's very appealing to lazy teenagers who just want to play video games all day. And then they go to college and their Marxist professors tell them, well, yeah, you should be able to just lay around and play video games all day. That's your right as a human being. And we should overthrow the government so that we can implement it so you could just be a lazy teenager all of your life. And that's Marxism in a nutshell, isn't it? The rubbish they are teaching or want to teach here in Australia is insane. Sex ed to 5-year-olds. There's there's a course to teach 12-year-old how to say, oh my gosh. Yeah. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? Are you even allowed to homeschool in Australia? I know there's some countries. My niece lives in Germany, and I think she said that you can't homeschool in Germany. It's illegal to homeschool in Germany, uh, unless I'm misremembering something. I am the one that got Safe Schools Coalition thrown out of everywhere but Vic. Took us years. Are you both in Australia? They're trying to put child sex dolls on stress relief for kids council. Oh my gosh. What is wrong in this world? Australia is like really messed up, isn't it? And you guys can't even protect yourselves because you have no Second Amendment. It's probably all planned out to further push third wave feminism. Yeah. Well, third wave feminism is just part of the plan, isn't it? It's part of the plan. I went to university to learn how to animate. I could only afford one semester. YouTube. Or oh, what is that site called? There's websites where you can just, my son's doing it. He's taking programming lessons, and it's just you pay for the lessons, and then you get all these video tutorials from people who know the craft. Um, oh, what is the name? Udemy? Maybe it's Udemy. But yeah, anything you can learn at a university, you can learn online. So you don't have to go blow tens or thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars being indoctrinated and then having to take all these other courses. Go learn what you want to learn. Spend a few $100s on courses online, but you just have to be purposeful and determined and do it yourself. You know, you have to have the motivation for yourself. God bless you, brother. Come to Vic and do it here too. How about Solonsky book, Dedication to Lucifer? It does say a lot. It does indeed. Choose your side wisely. You are a wise man, Michael. Thank you. I try to be. I pray for wisdom all the time. I'm doing an acting course in London this September in a hipsterish side of London. I hope it's worth it. Well, I'm sure it'll be fun. My daughter's been in an acting class for 6 years now. We homeschool too. Best thing we've done for our kids. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. If I can ever trick women into marrying me, our kids will go to a private school. Private schools are expensive. Yeah, I wouldn't mind putting my kids back into like a private school that I could trust. But honestly, I like being here with them. Although I'd get more done if they were at school, but I do love being here with them during the day. So I'm more of a centrist. I believe in some liberal things, but a lot more conservative beliefs. But I don't really like thinking about politics and all that. My kids go to a private Christian school. It pretty much means we have no money for other things, but I think it is worth it. Yeah, like I said, they're expensive. They are expensive. We used to have them in a part-time homeschool. It was like 3 days a week, and it was like $400 a month just for 2 of them. Which, I mean, when you break it down, it wasn't that much, but yeah, it gets expensive. You are spot on, Mike. It was all part of the plan. If you have young adults start off in their adulthood, 30,000 in debt, you have a slave for life, and they will be focused on earning. Yeah, and they never freaking grow up. You have 30-year-olds living at home with their parents in this country. It's like, man, my dad with all his faults, um, he let me stay at his house as long as I was in college, right? And as soon as I told him I was done, I was like, I'm not going to go back next year. He's like, well, then you can start paying rent. And as soon as they said, well, you have to start paying rent, I said, peace, I'm out. I moved out that day, and I went and I slept on my brother's couch until I don't remember. It was a couple months, and then we got a bigger apartment together. And but yeah, I mean, it's funny. I've told my kids since they were little that I'm kicking them out when they're 18. So they've always had this mentality, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be gone when I'm 18. So I mean, if they're like doing something productive or they want to, pay rent or something, I'll let them stay. But I am not letting my kids be children until they're in their 30s. It is just it's detrimental for them. It's detrimental for society as a whole. Um, and you got to grow up. You got to kick them out of the nest, and they got to learn how to fly. Just found out Death of Superman animated movie is coming out 2 weeks. Oh, that was a great comic. Um, it's really weird. I didn't like that comic. I like story, and just it was like 32 pages of Doomsday punching Superman and Superman punching Doomsday. It was just like I didn't care for it. Uh, don't forget this whole generation of wanting to make a career out of YouTube, being gamers or whatever else. Yeah. Well, hey, look at me. I'm not trying to make a career out of this, but but I know, you can make a lot of money just sitting on YouTube talking. V makes way more as and don't start saying kick V or do, I don't care. But V makes way more on YouTube than he ever would have as a doctor in Romania, because doctors in Romania make like $200 a month because of socialized medicine. And so he has he has rejected his chosen profession in order that he may talk politics on the YouTubes. And so, yeah, I mean, heck, if you can do it, I know a guy whose brother, and you could look it around. Look, you can look it up. These guys make a killing doing those video game channels. Hey, if there's a market for it, I'm not gonna tell them not to. I would suggest that they invest that money in something that's long-term investment. But Australia is where Mad Max takes place. That is correct. I love Mad Max. I do too. Third wave feminism equals Third Reich. Correct. Skillshare. Skillshare? Yeah, I think that's one of the sites. There's a number of them. But yeah, there's so much great out there. There's so many great, smart, skilled people who are experts in their field who are willing to share their knowledge, which is much better than just the book knowledge of some Marxist twerp in a university that's charging you, $40,000 a year. So, also the end of Western civilization if we aren't careful. Oh, we're turning it around, man. We're turning it around. Yes, Udemy. Also, you can take a few classes for free online if you have a public library card. There you go. And that's why my generation's so arrogant and lazy overall. But think of this. That is accurate, but cream rises to the top. And if most of the population is a bunch of sluggard man children, then it's going to be so much easier for those of us who are diligent and resourceful and intelligent and willing to work to rise above all of those intellectually inferior wastes of space. It is illegal to homeschool in Germany. Yeah, that's what I thought. A family had their children taken by a German government for homeschooling. So insane. Yeah, I feel bad for my niece. That's horrible, Jimmy. LOL. Another family moved to the USA in 2008 seeking asylum for religious persecution from German homeschooling laws. But the Obama administration, of course they did. Now, you can't just homeschool your children. You have to let them be indoctrinated by the state because the state knows better than the family how to raise your children. There you go. Yeah, it is 1 o'clock in the morning. Why are you up? Oh, probably because my wife is asleep and no one has told him to go to sleep. Well, good night, everybody. Good luck with Lone Star. Looking forward to backing it. Thank you, Thrall. Good night, Thrall. Good night, good night, good night. I wonder why I called it Death of Superman. Kind of spoiled the ending. Right? Oh, man. But Death of Superman was like the death of comics. Um, it got so much press that I think that's where this whole thing kind of started, right? The Death of Superman was like on the New York Times, it was on ABC, CBS, all the Alphabet Soup channels and whatnot. And I think that's what caused like Marvel and DC to constantly be trying to do things that would get them into the news. It was like they became press whores, and they tried to just create these events like um, like sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. But I think that's what started it all, was the death of Superman. Yeah, because it wasn't too long after that North Star came out as gay, right? I'm gay, and then that was in the news, and they kept trying to feed this monster, and it was like it wasn't about the story anymore. It was about what kind of controversy can we stir up to get in the newspapers and on CNN for Pete's sake. Um, yeah, the death of Superman was the death of comics. It was slow going. Night Thrall sounds like a villain name. Most tubers won't make a substantial amount of money from just ad revenue. Yeah, most. You know what? Most people in any trade won't make a lot of money. It's just the cream that rises to the top. Military or trade schools is the only way to make a living. Do not pay a fortune to be indoctrinated by leftist idiots. Yeah. I've told my kids all their life that they don't have to go to college. My daughter wants to go to college, but I think it's because she's the one in charter school, which is closer to public school. California's trying to make it harder and harder to homeschool too. Yeah, I know. Wait, is that CA Canada or CA California? But there's a strong contingent of us homeschoolers fighting it. They want our kids. Oh yeah, California brainwashing camps. Thanks, Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown is such a flippin' jackass. I really don't understand how nobody stopped him from being governor again. I mean, legally he's not allowed to be. We have a two-term law in this state that you can only be governor for 2 terms. But Jerry Brown ran, won a third term, and said, well, that law doesn't apply to me because it was passed after I was governor last time. He was governor in the 80s for 2 terms. And now he's been governor again he's been governor in this state for 4 terms. So like, I think 16 out of the last 35 years or something like that, Jerry Brown has been governor. So no wonder California is such a freaking mess. So I don't understand. He should. Don't get me started. Yes, all the skilled people sharing their knowledge is exactly at Comicsgate. Yes, hashtag Comicsgate. The goal of Marxism, it is in their lit, is to destroy religion, then the atomic family, because only by undermining both can those. This bag is. Oops. Oh, there we go. There's been a common theme and goal since as far back as the 1970s. Yeah, probably farther back than that. The states are turning things around. Canada is still riding the line. Then there's Europe. Europe is going to fall into a pit. The Great Obama Impression. Oh, Great Obama. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It's kind of a weird, almost Elvis-y impression. I notice religion is locked down, looked down upon more and more. Christianity is, especially, but Islam gets so many passes. It's all narrative. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nuclear family, not atomic family. I'm sleepy. I haven't slept all night. It's 8:57 here. Death of Superman was just the most visible symptom of the kind of crazy speculation that would be going on in comics since Image had started. Everyone and their grandmother bought into this scam. Well, Death of Comics was like 3 or 4 years. 2 years? 2 or 3 years before Image. Yeah. In pro wrestling, when they do big stunts, publicity stunts, it's called hot shutting. That's what comics started doing. They started doing publicity stunts. Yeah. Were his terms concurrent? No, he did two. He did two concurrent terms in the 80s, and then two now. He's going to be out of office in at the end of the year. I live in Anacrime, and I hate Jerry Brown. Hey, buddy, bud. Say hello, Isaac.
Hello.
Muted. Muted again. It's good now. Yeah, my phone like froze up for a minute there. How Jerry Brown become governor again? Sadly, your entire state legal system is corrupted and controlled by the left, especially judges. That's how I became governor again. Yeah, I mean, if I can't answer it, it just boggles the mind. Yes, Europe's in a collision course. The economy in Portugal is horrible. Looking for a job here is nearly impossible. And California, Uber Alice, California, Uber Alice. Sorry, I had to do that. Dead Kennedys. Yeah, Europe, man, is not repopulating itself. I believe they have a 1.2% repopulation rate. So, like, for every 2 people in Europe, they're creating 1.2 people. So they're not replacing their own population, which is why the immigrants coming in, having 8 children per family average, are, if you do the math, by 2050, Europe is done. Europe is over. It's going to be a majority Muslim population. I would leave if I were you. Yeah, Islam will more than take up the slack. That's their purpose. It is a slow, intentional invasion and takeover, and it's already happening. There's already conclaves in in Nice, in Paris, in England, where the police refuse to go because it's controlled by Islam. Borders would definitely help. Don't want to sound callous, but allowing refugees and immigrants to any country is not going to look pretty long term. No, it's not. You know what? Europeans have to realize they have to repopulate. They have to have at least 2 kids. They should have 3 kids, and they got to stop waiting till they're 40 to try to have kids. That's what's wrong with. I mean, it's funny because I got into this argument with some alt-right guys on my Twitter, and they're all complaining because I'm a mongrel, right? According to Vox Day, and their kind of thinking, and these guys got mad at me for banging on Vox Day and calling him a racist. But I read Vox's stuff on his own blog, and he's like, he's like, yeah, he's totally against races intermingling, and he was posting something about how there was a human disgust, like an intrinsic disgust reaction had to races mixing, and I'm like, okay, so he would rather that I never existed. So this to me qualifies as racism. And so these other alt right guys came on my page and they're like, "Well, I'm not going to support you anymore," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Hey, if I'm misunderstanding something here, then you let me know." And then they started trying to make the case of um, why the races shouldn't mix, and it's a defense mechanism uh, of whites because all of the other minorities are creating these identity politics conclaves and attacking whites, and they believe that the white population is diminishing through the interbreeding of the races because once you're interbred, you're not white anymore. Like nobody says Obama's white, Obama's black because Obama's half black, half white. He's black because I'm half yellow, half white. I'm yellow, right? And so they're right. You can't drop any colors into white and it's still be white. You drop a little red and white, it's pink. You drop a little black and white, it's gray. Um, but I'm like, dude, you are so missing the boat on the problem. If you want to maintain white culture or European culture, German culture, Swedish culture, any culture, the people have to propagate. You have to create the puppy. You can't do it by diminishing the returns on your own population. You're breeding you're, you're not breeding. You're unbreeding yourselves out of the equation. So it has nothing to do with these little fringe. Like is attracted to like. In general, blacks go with blacks, yellows go with yellows, browns go with browns. It's just the general milieu of the human condition that like attracts like, right? So, like my parents, that was fringe. A black and a yellow meeting, that's fringe. A brown and a white, that's fringe. That is not the issue of the diminishment of European Western civilization characters. It's freaking art breeding. Get in the bedroom, breed, okay? Don't say that I'm a mistake because I'm a mixed breed, right? And frankly, mixed breeds are better looking. They're healthier. So it's actually, technically, it's better for the entirety of the human population that we do mix and we produce these beautiful people like me. But as you could tell, I'm kidding. But I was actually pretty good looking in my youth. I don't know what happened. Um, but yeah, the argument is that they're chasing the wrong freaking car with that argument. So, anyways, that's my tirade on that. Uh, Same thing is happening here in Australia. The government pays us to have kids. We shamed women, so motherhood was seen as failure and pushed women to be in legit whores and work 24/7. Yeah. Oh my lord. It's UK is probably screwed too. Yes, the UK is screwed too. You guys seriously need to create some sort of a national um, drive to just have kids. Otherwise, you're just going to get bred out of existence by the people you're letting into your country. Um, right or wrong, it's an eventuality. Check out the documentary called Agenda: Grinding America Down. Very powerful details on how much the communists have succeeded in their plans to take down America internally per the naked communist. Yeah, I should check that out. But I'm going to be extremely busy the next 2 weeks. Start having kids, Europe. How hard is that? It's really not that hard. I could show you how. Herpes down from 1 in 8 just 5 years ago. That really impacts birth rates, but no one talks about it. what impacts birth rates is people wanting to be uh, children and wanting to be freaking whores. There's no other way to say it. When if you're just sleeping around until you're in your 40s and then you decide you want to have children, you're a freaking idiot. I mean, I can understand someone who's been trying to get married or whatever and just couldn't find someone till they're 40. But man, some of these people, they just don't want. I don't want to be tied down. I'm too. I want to have my fun. I want to blah blah blah. It's like there's nothing out there that is better than having a family. Nothing. It's it's ridiculous. Did you see Paradox Universe's on 38-second video about you saying you were mocking us? He posted about 3 hours ago. Paradox Universes on Twitter cut a 38-second video about me saying you're mocking us. No. Send me a link to that, Egg. Are you on my Twitter? Send it to me. Or tag me or whatever. Add all of that with third world feminism and imagine how finding anybody worthwhile to get to know is here. Yeah. Cultures are different. Not that simple. Cultures are different here. I was half joking. I know I'm ignorant on the subject. Saying people of different ethnicities shouldn't mix sounds more than a little bit racist. Yeah, think? I know. Have more sex, white people. No, how about have more marriages, white people, and then have more babies, and then stay together and raise those babies so they're not, they don't, you know, you're just gonna have less problems that way. More like put on more borders and be more strict. It's for the better. That's just part of the solution, man. That's part of the solution. Back for a few. Gonna have to catch the whole replay. Interesting topic. I'm so glad I left California in 2000. Now I'm in North Pole, Alaska, so laid back. Yeah, I've been trying to think of another state to move to, but I'm in San Diego, and the weather is so much better here than anywhere else, almost on the entire globe. It is really, really hard to leave. So I'm really hoping the state gets broken up in this ballot measure, and then I'm really hoping that the state breaking up gets approved through Congress, and that South California becomes a Republican stronghold. I don't care about color. I care about culture. Colors make the world beautiful no matter what color you are, but some cultures are just evil. I cannot agree with you more, Grant. My siblings are way better looking than me. I take it you got some mixed breed siblings or something. No matter what color. I'm from California, now living in Portland, Oregon. Out of the frying pan into the fire. I lived in Portland for 5 years. More like out of the frying pan into the swimming pool. It rains so much there. What is with my typing tonight? I don't know, Grant. What is with your typing tonight? It's been a problem. I'm going to shift over here. Kids keep trying to get in the background of my thing. Some European cultures are so rich, it's being disrespected. Isn't Valentine's Day a national drive to have Kids Day? That's Valentine's and that, baby. Also, there's this benefit system in the UK, pretty much welfare, and it's the opposite problem here. There's a lot more poverty than it seems. You know, I was watching a West African comedian. I think he might have been from Sierra Leone, in England, and he was listening to these English people talk about poverty, and he's like, "Poverty? What poverty? Are you kidding? Do you have to go to go down to the water hole and brush away all the maggots from the water to get a drink?" He's just going on and on about what real poverty is like, and just freaking poverty rich shaming all the people in England who think they know what poverty is. It's the same thing in all Western cultures. It's like we don't have poverty in the West. We don't have poverty in America. There's no such thing as poverty in America. We have poorer people, right? We have the richest people on earth, and we have poorer people than the rich people. But the poorest people in America live in luxury compared to 80% of the people on this planet. So it was just funny that there was this comedian who's from real poverty, um, who was making that point because it's a point I've made before. Because I met a guy from Sierra Leone at a coffee shop one time, and I'm like, "So what do people in Sierra Leone do?" He's like, "What do you mean? What do we do?" I'm like, what do you do every day? And he's like, "We look for food all day, every day. We look for food." And I'm like, "Let me buy you a coffee, brother." Freaking, can you? None of us can even imagine, right? None of us can imagine. That is poverty. And that's why I donate to like water. I haven't donated to water.org specifically recently, but I've in the past I've donated like to digging the water wells and stuff in Africa, and I think that's a really good and really important thing because that's the most basic necessity of life. And like a billion people on this planet can't even get fresh drinking water. They're drinking just nasty, nasty, infested, disgusting stuff you wouldn't feed to your, never mind giving to your pets. You wouldn't want your pets in water like that. And that's what these people are drinking. And they're getting disease ridden and cancerous and just dying like as children from. And then, we complain about just the dumbest things here in the West. Wow, what a downer. Um, yeah, my phone's gonna die. I have 14% left. I probably have a few minutes. This is really sucking up battery, and this thing's dead. So the benefit system turns lower class people less motivated and turns them lazy. Yeah, that's what welfare does. That is what welfare does. That's why, the welfare targeted the blacks in this country in order to uh, get them to vote Democratic, and it did. And now that's why the blacks went from being the fastest rising population group economically in the 20s. They were like, coming out of poverty. They were like freaking rising up faster than whites, faster than anybody else. And then the welfare system kicked in, targeted blacks, crash and burn. That's what welfare does. Da, da, da. Having kids is so easy, it happens unintentionally to people just trying to irresponsibly have fun. Yeah. I'm not being mean, but many women never know how hard it is to have kids when they're older. I know. Yeah. You can't settle down at 40 and expect to pop kids out, man. My wife didn't want to have any kids after 35 because seriously, after 35, that's when genetic problems start popping in your kids too. I mean, our youngest kid is developmentally disabled, and I think he was an accident. And my wife is like 36, so her paranoia about not wanting to have kids after 35 was like, she was right. Graduate, go to work, get married, have kids, stay together. Ben Shapiro. Absolutely. Yep. And you will not see a whiff of poverty. You will struggle. Everyone struggles. But you know what I mean? Kind of worries me. I'll never find someone worthwhile. Sure you will, Tuga. I was in San Diego for 6 years in the Navy, also raised in Placerville. Yep, I'm the only full black one. Not bad looking, if I must say. If you don't say so yourself. Just post it on your Twitter. All right, thanks. I'm gonna tap out of here pretty soon before my battery dies completely. Um, Portland. How do you neighbor? Blah 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 blah. All right, yeah, I'm gonna let the rest of this pass. Yeah, again, if you guys have anything you want to tell me, any media outlets I should email, um, I'm sure you're all already signed up on my email list. So if you're not, just go down to the description and do it. But I appreciate all of you guys. Thanks for tuning in. This was a pretty chill late night chit chat. Good day to all you in Australia. And for the rest of you, good luck. God bless. And thanks for being here. Thanks, Alpha Proto. I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh yeah, and then come back on because I'm gonna go back there and I'm gonna upload the full commercial for the Indiegogo. It should be done. So give that a few minutes. Takes time to upload, and then check back in. Peace.